Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we have the return of Premier League football, and it comes in the form of Chelsea versus Brentford. Two London clubs, two West London clubs, two clubs aiming to do well this season, because some teams are going to be aiming to do badly, aren't they? Yep. And both have seen bright starts, which is what I was trying to say. Brentford obviously promoted from the Championship, and Chelsea just won the Champions League casually. But as you can tell, I am very excited to see the return of Premier League football, but more importantly, Chelsea, because the international break, oh my goodness, it is a bit dull, isn't it? Even with the Nations League final, what even is the point of that? It's not even a real competition, it just made it up. The France are celebrating it like they won another World Cup, like they won another trophy, but it's literally just still a friendly. It's pretty much a friendly. But before we get into the video, you know what to do. Like, subscribe as always. And in this video, we're going to be going through the injuries, the suspensions, the predicted lineups, all the news you need to know about it, and my predictions at the end. So make sure you stick around until the end. But starting off with Chelsea's most recent results. Last game we played, that was a long time ago. We won, didn't we? We did win. Now, I had forgotten it was so long ago that we did manage to beat Southampton 3-1, goals from Trevor Chalobah, Timo Werner in the 84th minute, and then Ben Chilwell in the 89th minute to cap off a good performance overall, definitely deserved win. And we're back up against Brentford, who in their last game beat West Ham 2-1, thanks to a 94th minute winner from new signing Yoane Wissa. Now, as you probably know, Chelsea went into the international break at the top of the Premier League on 16 points, with second place Liverpool on 15 points. Now, Brentford went into the international break on 12 points, joint 7th. But there's 3 teams on 14 points in front of them. So technically, if City, United, Everton and Brighton all joint 3rd, Brentford are technically joint 4th, which is incredible considering they only got promoted last season. Now onto injuries and suspensions. There are no suspensions for Chelsea. However, injuries, there are a couple of concerns. N'Golo Kante did suffer from COVID a couple of weeks ago before the international break. That's why he didn't feature for France in the Nations League semi-final or final, but has now recovered and he has been back in training. But I don't think he will be starting this game. Now, we know N'Golo Kante, one of his main attributes is how far he can run on his lungs. He's got about 86 lungs and about 27 legs as well. So having it been affected, I don't know if he did really feel the full force of COVID. We'll have to see, but I'd be surprised if he starts this game, considering he only came back into training midweek. Reece James, another player that got injured before the international break. He didn't feature for England, although he was named in the squad peculiarly. He has also since recovered from his thigh injury, which did look like it was going to see him be on the sidelines for 4 to 6 weeks. But actually, he is back in training. But yet again, I would be surprised if he starts against Brentford. Romelu Lukaku returned early from international duty after having a couple of worries about fatigue, muscle fatigue. But now he has since recovered as well, and he should be in contention to start this game, with Christian Pulisic, Antonio Rudiger and also Hakim Ziyech all being doubts after Ziyech not being in training for the last couple of days due to a headache, Pulisic still trying to recover from that ankle injury picked up a while ago, and Tony Rudiger suffering from back problems, which also kept him out of the German first team. Also, something you got to remember about the international break, we are playing on the Saturday, and most of the players, so the England lot, all played on the Tuesday. Did Germany play on the Monday or the Wednesday? So they haven't had too long to rest. They probably would have preferred a little bit longer. So bringing in, especially the fact they haven't been in training for too long, Thomas Tuchel might involve a little bit of freshness into the squad, how much they've trained with the first team. So the likes of Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Callum Hudson-Odoi, maybe in my starting lineup, because they've been training with the Chelsea first team for the last 2 weeks while everyone else is out representing their country. And Thomas Tuchel has obviously been able to track these, measure them, see how well they're doing in training recently, and potentially involve them in this game, because last time we came back from international duty was against Aston Villa. Saul Niguez got dropped straight into the deep end next to Mateo Kovacic, who almost definitely wouldn't have even met each other yet. They were put in midfield together, and it was not a good day in the office for that first half. I mean, for Saul, overall we won the game 3-0, but it did kind of flatter us a little bit. So moving on to my predicted lineups, like I have said, I have involved some freshness into this. Injuries obviously have played quite a large part, and players that have been in form for their country recently. So in goal, Edouard Mendy, I don't think that's a surprise. Obviously got missed out on the Ballon d'Or nominees, although there were a number of players complaining about that, because he literally has been the best goalkeeper in the world in the last year. I don't think you can really argue with that too much. He obviously won the Champions League, barely conceded any goals. He's barely conceded any goals in a Chelsea shirt. He obviously won the Champions League Goalkeeper of the Year or UEFA Goalkeeper of the Year. He's been doing a very good job, and he's starting in net for me. And on to the back three. We've spoken about Antonio Rudiger being absent for this one. Thiago Silva has also not been playing with Brazil, I'm pretty sure. Might be mistaken on that one. Azpilicueta has played in, he definitely played in, they played in both games in the Nations League, and Christensen, he also played in Denmark's last game. However, I've put them in my back three. Azpi on the right, as we've seen often, Thiago Silva in the centre, as we've also seen often, but Christensen off to the left, as Tony Rudiger is obviously out injured. We don't really have another centre half that could definitely play. So like if Azpilicueta is out, we'll play Chalobah almost definitely in that right centre back position. But left centre back, we don't really have the same squad depth as for a left centre half. Like Rudiger is left footed, Christensen's left footed, Azpilicueta could do a job there, Chalobah could also do a job there. I've gone with Christensen, but it could be all those players I mentioned. I have gone with Christensen though, but it would be nice to see Tony recover sooner or later. At left wing back, I have gone with Ben Chilwell, despite Marcos Alonso reaching the Nations League final with Spain, starting in the starting 11 over Jordi Alba. Ben Chilwell got a goal for his country, his first goal for England against Andorra, although yes, it was an empty net. It was a decent finish, and it's good to see him back in the starting 11 for club or country. And I think now is when Ben Chilwell has to really work hard, cement his name in that team sheet over Marcos Alonso if he wants to start seeing himself start at left wing back more often. And then at right wing back, Reece James, I would be surprised if he starts this game. We've put Azpilicueta at right centre back, so I've gone with Callum Hudson-Odoi at right wing back. I think he could definitely do a job. Now, no disrespect to Brentford, but maybe against a bit of a larger team like City or United or Liverpool, I would be a little bit more wary about playing Callum Hudson-Odoi, such an attacking winger at wing back. But Brentford, although they have been great defensively, great going forwards as well, I'm a little bit more confident, and I think it's worth taking that risk, playing a bit more of an attacking wing back, as obviously he might be worse defensively than Reece James and Azpilicueta, but he's almost definitely better than, 100% better than the other two at taking on players, dribbling around them, putting in a cross. Maybe he could challenge Reece James for that one. But I've gone with Callum Hudson-Odoi at right wing back. In the centre of the park, the pivot, I've gone with an interesting duo. I did mention one of their names earlier, and what I spoke about, freshness, being training with the first team for the last couple of weeks. Jorginho has been with Italy. Kovacic has been with Croatia. Kante has just come back from COVID. He could start, I guess, but like I said, I don't know if he was be thrown straight into the team after just having COVID. So that leaves you with a couple of midfielders left. Obviously, first, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who played very well in the Southampton game after pretty much all Chelsea fans asking and demanding it from Thomas Tuchel. We got Ross Barkley, who assisted the Timo Werner winner. The winner, although I guess Chilwell's was the winner because it was the last goal to really cement that win. Anyway, he played very well, to be fair, in the last 10 minutes when he came on the pitch. And then last you have Saul Niguez. And for my pivot in the midfield too, I've gone with Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Saul Niguez together. Now, obviously, these two have been training with each other recently, with Thomas Tuchel with the first team. well, not the first team because most of them have been out on international duty. They've both been actively training together. And if there have been any practice matches, these two probably would have played alongside each other. They've had time to kind of bond together as well. So having the balance of Ruben Loftus-Cheek's ability going forwards, driving with the ball, Saul Niguez's passing ability, his long shot ability, but both solid defensively. Maybe you could say Saul Niguez is a bit more solid defensively than Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I think together they could form a very nice partnership in the midfield, and I think a lot of teams in the world would be jealous of this partnership. Even with Jorginho, Kovacic and Kante, I think our top 3 choice midfielders all being rested, which is even more perfect. And then lastly, for the front 3, I have gone without Timo Werner, which did hurt me a little bit. I'm not too sure why. I'd just rather Kai Havertz in the front 3 over Timo for this game. Like I said, I can't really explain why. Timo Werner played very well for Germany. He got, I think, he didn't score in the first game. He scored 2 bangers in the second game. And yeah, he's playing with confidence, which is exactly what you want to see. However, I have dropped him for this Premier League face-off against Brentford. And my front 3 consists of Kai Havertz, who did also score for Germany, albeit it was an open and empty net. Even more empty than Ben Chilwell's. Ben Chilwell's had a man on the line. Mason Mount, who played for England. Did he start for England? Yeah, he played alongside Foden and Rice in the midfield against Hungary in that boring 1-1 draw. And then up front, you know who it is. It's Michy Batshuayi. No, he's on loan at Besiktas. It's Romelu Lukaku. So as you can see on screen now, this is my predicted lineup. Tweak it in the comments below. I'd love to hear all your guys' thoughts. Well, most of you guys. And for my predictions, I am going... Oh, it's a difficult one because Brentford have been solid defensively. Chelsea, obviously, renowned now under Thomas Tuchel for their defensive line. Might be a bit of a tight game, but I think the attacking capabilities from both sides will make it a very good watch. So, overall, I don't think Chelsea will concede. Maybe we will. Maybe a 3-1 win. Lukaku to get one. Havertz and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Assists from Mason Mount, Callum Hudson-Odoi and Ben Chilwell. Yeah, Brentford will also play with a back 3 as well, as they've been doing all season. So they'll already know what to do in the back 3, which some teams kind of struggle. That some managers feel forced to play a back 3 to match up with Chelsea's back 3 or 5, whatever you see it as. But Brentford will obviously already be ready and calibrated enough to match up against Chelsea, while also being used to the back 3 or 5 system. Anyway, that is all for today. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. See you guys next time. Goodbye.